Hello beautiful people, it's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video, and this is from Piers, and it's quite an interesting topic regarding Hollywood and also the Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni situation that is currently going on. And I also love your thoughts and your contribution in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, subscribe and all that stuff. Let's dive right into the video.
My favourite story, I think, in showbiz this year, the Justin Baldoni war with Blake Lively, which seems to me, initially I felt quite sorry for Blake Lively, then I've been reading all the messages between them all, and which he's been putting out, obviously, and it just seems like a pair of absolute weapons-grade narcissists, now spray gunning each other with as much dirt as they could possibly do, having spewed lovey-dovey stuff to each other for months on end. I mean, again, critical drinker, this is in your world. You know, I thought it was a great film. I got to say, I've not been to the cinema and actually sat through a movie and been as quiet and as attentive as I was to that in a long time. I thought it was very, very well done. A, do you agree? And B, what do you make of these two now just trying to destroy each other in public?
Well, A, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I can't speak to that.
It's really good, honestly. I highly recommend it. I thought it was great. And they're both great in it,
drama. Yeah, I mean, as for the drama between them, like, if what he's alleging is true, she sounds like an absolute nightmare. I mean, I get the impression that it's like a prima donna that's come in, tried to take over and hijack the movie, and when she didn't get her way, she brought her much richer, more successful and powerful husband in to lay down the law. And the result was a disjointed production that had all kinds of problems behind the scenes, and Baldoni, by the sounds of things, got completely shafted in this one. So if all of this is true, he's 100% justified in suing her. I don't know if it is. Like, it's all coming out.
I mean, Esther, we've been around the block longer than either of us would care to mention. Me, certainly more than you, but in terms of these kind of stories. But it seems to me when you get to a stage where the guy who makes this huge blockbuster film that makes a ton of money, and they should be basking in the glory of it and probably winning a lot of awards as well, that he's now got a website dedicated to spilling the dirty laundry about his co-star in the film. It's unprecedented.
I mean, it's shocking. In many ways, I'm quite glad for like new media and all of that, because I can imagine how many people in the past have been victim to the kind of stunts that Blake Lively and her husband have pulled, now apparently in conjunction with Taylor Swift, who has oddly decided to distance herself from the couple, which is an interesting development. Look, I went through the 160-page timeline and evidence document that Justin published on his website in detail, as well as what he presented to the court, because it was fascinating.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
I mean, if even only half of what he's saying is true, Blake Lively is a complete nightmare. This is an actress that was hired to be in the film, and yet she's asking the director, who's also her lead, for the cuts and the edits, and she's decided to take over the wardrobe, and she gets to choose her wardrobe and they pay for it. That's unprecedented. No one's ever heard of that. And then she has the audacity to call her husband and Taylor Swift her dragons, and that Justin Baldoni and the producer tried to sexually harass this woman, this mad hatter who no sane man would go near with a 10-foot barge pole. It is so offensive and so ridiculous. I mean, I urge everyone to just read through everything that Justin Baldoni
it is utterly
shocking.
It's compelling.
Shocking.
I mean, Andy, it's sort of unprecedented that stars of this magnitude would dish it all out in public to this extent. I mean, she began with, I think, the New York Times very well orchestrated, obviously, onslaught against him. And I read all that and thought, wow, poor Blake Lively. I've got to say, I'm not really thinking that now. The more I read about this, the more I think stain on all your gruesome houses. The publicists involved, the actors involved, everybody involved seems to be absolutely horrible.
Well, you say we haven't seen it before, but we kind of have with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Well, that's true, yeah, but that only came out in the end in court, right?
And,
I mean, that was
Johnny did something I think a lot of people took notes to. Like,
yeah,
he
that's
brought
true.
a receipt, he dropped all the evidence, and I think Team Justin, which, you know, same PR rep who repped Johnny, who was behind this, Blake sort of saw that as, oh, you're trying to use an Amber Heard tactic, but she didn't even realize, like, that's not a good defense. That means you're guilty because Blake, Amber lied. It's been astonishing. Like, I just jumped off my live. We had 30,000 people watching the new hearing because the judge is trying to reprimand Justin for dropping receipts. And I'm just sitting there like, how is this allowed? Like, Blake Lively dropped a lawsuit with all his texts, cherry-picked those texts, removed emojis and like intent and backstory to these texts.
Literally outright deleted certain sections of the text.
Yes. 100% took it all as re-edited, and now they're mad. They're mad at Justin for releasing the full context of those texts. It makes no sense.
And the worst part of all of this, she decided to promote a film about domestic violence by flogging her alcohol brand, even though we know that most domestic violence cases are involve drinking by the part of the abuser. And she got her husband's PR company that wasn't signed off by Sony to take over the promotion of the film. What did Ryan Reynolds have to do with this film that Justin Baldoni's production team bought in the first place?
I don't want to interrupt, but like, I do think someone needs to stick up for Blake slightly here.
And listen, go ahead.
I've got to say, like, I'm not going to defend the decision to talk about florals on the red carpet or to promote alcohol or whatever. Like, but I just think we should point out that a lot of celebrities are annoying. Like, a lot of celebrities do promo products when they're promoting a film. That is quite normal in Hollywood culture.
How many promo films have you seen with the Holocaust being promoting?
Promoting what?
Yeah, I don't know.
What were you going to say? Well, I'm sure it was going to be wildly offensive.
No, but like, no, seriously. When you're promoting certain films, you don't. In
I'm not sure there's a rule about that. I don't know if that's a written rule in Hollywood.
Would you promote an oven brand if you're doing films about the Holocaust?
The point is, this is a woman who said privately on set to various people, like, I'm not okay with this decision. I don't like that. We've seen the clip of them both interacting where she did feel like she was trying to take charge of a situation she was uncomfortable in.
No, she wasn't.
And
she was trying to take charge of a situation. You could put the period there. She was not uncomfortable.
You could view it with either lens, I think.
Yeah, if you close one eye and then shoot the other one.
I think there's a hidden language when you feel uncomfortable, and if you've experienced something where you feel uncomfortable, then you can read into what she's saying.
Do you know what? When I start hearing, I'm sorry,
I can finish a point.
When I hear all that kind of stuff, though, honestly, that's all been banned as well now.
But listen, a woman is trying to say she's uncomfortable, and then she's been hit with a retaliation.
You know what she could have done? She could have pulled out of the film and retained her $400 million fortune that she has with her husband. Yeah. She could have done that.
The real shame for me, Shannon, is that, have you seen the movie?
I have, yes. And
it's
I also
an amazing film.
I thought it was great, and I thought the acting in it from both of them was fantastic. And in fact, I remember thinking, wow, the chemistry here is wildly good, you know, and the twist is great and everything else. I mean, literally, I want to go and watch it again now. I'm thinking about it. It's such a great, well-made film. And that's what's sad. It's like, they should all be basking in the glory of this film, and instead they just kind of kill each other.
Isn't that one of the allegations, though, that she might have...
Hang on, let Shannon go first, and I'll come to critical drinking. Shannon?
Like, none of this was ever about making a good film. It was about power. It was about power. And now that power is backfiring. They tried to play it out in the public. That didn't work. They don't want Justin playing it out in the public. The only way Blake and Ryan could salvage what's left of their reputation, which they don't even realize, I truly don't think they realize how reviled they are. I don't think they realize they're losing. If they did something that no litigious celebrity has ever done, which is come out and be like, we made a mistake. Suing someone is a nightmare. It's stressful. It's expensive. It's a life ruiner. And you know what, dude? Even if we're right, it's not worth it. We're going to back away. I bet Justin would call off the dogs also.
Yeah, I mean, like Critical Drinker, what's been fascinating to me, Critical Drinker, what's been really interesting to me is the way the modern phenomenon of publicists through useful journalists using digital outlets and social media and stuff to just wage a kind of warfare against somebody surreptitiously under the radar where it just goes viral. And I just remember reading all the stuff about Blake Lively thinking, what's causing all this? Why is she getting all this hate? Because I love the film. Now, you look at it in totality and you think, I was probably a little bit too sympathetic given what's now being published.
I think ultimately all you need is a good PR firm and a few thousand bot accounts, and you can make pretty much any story turn into reality on social media. That's the scary reality of the world that we live in now. Yeah,
I think that's really true, and it's really actually quite disturbing.
Esther is right. Because make it make sense. What is Blake's husband's business in the movie or in the film? Because look at this. The movie was talking about DV, domestic violence. And Blake, on the other hand, is advertising her product, which is an alcohol brand that we all know, even somebody who, like, make it make sense. And then only for her to come and make the SH claims that she was the one harassed in this case in the movie. Listen, you can see exactly what the other lady said. You can see it's a matter of power struggle, the power dynamics and all that. Because she and her husband, they obviously want to take over this movie from Justin Baldoni because they saw that he is nice, he is kind, and they saw this as an opportunity to make a fortune out of their name and make it look like the power couple of Hollywood. But it's so backfired because going through the timeline, in fact, comparing both her lawsuit or her complaint and Justin Baldoni's lawsuit and complaint, you see big difference. And I mean, with everything based on the timeline presented, you see the manipulative tactics and everything that she and her husband have been doing with the dragons, the Khaleesi, and threatening getting others fired from their job, also want to take the director's job. You were not listening to your boss, disrespecting other people's job and your boss as well. Oh, please, just make it make sense. They actually caused this for themselves. They decided to put all of this into the public eye, and the public is so much invested in all of this. I mean, lots of people may not, but she coming to play the victim in this case. And You look at the timeline and all that, you see the power dynamics, you see the power struggle, and you see the egocentric behavior from both couples, with the fact that you're also bringing your best friend, who of course is big name in the industry, because you know this man in question is no big name. So you make all of this just because you want to take what does not belong to you. Like, make it make sense. Who in their right mind would have a project, and somebody comes from nowhere, somebody, an employee, is coming to take over, boot you out of your project, and still make lay accusations to say, oh, you did something wrong to them? Because lots of people love victim blaming and love to push a certain narrative, because the society we live in today gives room for people to play the victim, because victimhood sells. It's just what does not make sense. But let me know what your thoughts are regarding the Justin Baldoni and the Blake Lively situation. Have you seen the movie It Ends With Us?